Thank you. Thank you for having me here. Thank you for that introduction, Yogita and Dr. Batra. Thank you, and Mr. Sachdeva. So it's such a pleasure to be here, and I understand that we have students here to whom I'm going to be talking. It is also very nice that Sumant has set that kind of the context, talked about climate change, and so I'm going to share a few thoughts around what been my learnings and also on what we are doing as Aditya Birla Group. Suman spoke about power sector, and then he also mentioned a few industrial sectors, and we happen to be operating in some of those industrial sectors. Uh, so with this whole, I don't know how many of, or maybe I hope all of you have been following up on what's been happening around climate change, on the conversations that happened in Glasgow through COP26, but also been noticing what's playing out on ground, like, with the kind of weather patterns while on the East Coast. Maybe it's a few weeks later than when we would see a cyclone happening. But then having cyclones in the western part of the country, which happened in last 18 months, we had 3 cyclones, having floods in Kerala and Chennai in November. So impacts of climate change are visible. A lot of conversations on that it is visible and we need to make a changes happening at global level. And these are also the changes that I can see, having worked in this field for last so many years and now working in Aditya Birla Group, that this recognition is there at the corporate level. And one of the things I can talk about is as Aditya Birla Group at the group level and also at different businesses, we've taken target to be net zero by 2050, which is, if you would compare it, say, with what Prime Minister Modi's talked about in Glasgow, India is talking about is 2070. And not just about long term like 2050. In many of our businesses, we're talking about, to get to 2050, what are we going to do, say, by 2025? What are we going to do by 2030? So longer term and shorter term targets, whether it's in terms of doing it by the use of renewable energy, by the way of recovering the waste heat, by the way of taking products to a chip position, that, we are going to develop products, sell products which are sustainable, not only in their making stage, but they bring down the ecological or environmental footprint in their use stage as well. And let me talk about a couple of examples here. I would like to talk about the example of what our downstream aluminium company Novelis has been doing over a period of time. Novelis, as a downstream aluminium company, now uses more than 60% of aluminium, which is recycled. So it's coming from either customer or consumer use. So it's recycled. That is one. Novelis is also working with companies like Ford and JLR in automotive on how can we lightweight the vehicles and therefore contributing through the use stage. Similarly, when I talk about Birla Carbon, which is our carbon black company, it is developing now, it's launched a brand called Continua, where the carbon black is being made from the carbon black recovered from old tires. Or I can talk about our fiber. We are also into the business of making viscose staple fiber. So we've started to make fiber which is made from old garments. So, and we have a brand called Liva Reviva. So the ecological footprint, by the way of when it's in energy, using renewable energy, using recovering waste heat, getting contributing to products stewardship, use of circularity. So recognizing that we have a ecological footprint in terms of GHG emissions, in terms of the waste that we generate, in terms of so multiple E, S, and G issues. That recognition, use of water, use of energy, by the way of use of these naturally available raw materials, certain pollution is getting generated. So taking longer and shorter term targets, using circularity, product stewardship as levers to stay there, are some thoughts that I thought I wanted to initiate my conversation with. And I think I would leave it at that and hand it back to Yogita or Hitesh, whoever is taking it forward. Yeah, thank you.